Hi Lumineers, welcome to the Lighter Side Show. I'm your host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium. Today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Suzanne Adams. She's a best-selling author, she's a motivational speaker, and life purpose consultant. Is definitely somebody you want to put on your list to know, because she also just whispered to me, a powerful Lumineer. I was like, what? Yes!
Thank you.
That was incredible. I'm honored. Thank you for being a Lumineer. I'm all over it. You have a bunch of great workshops coming up. One of them being January 5th, the first Thursday in 2017, over at the Center for Love and Light.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your beautiful center with me. I love doing these talks and workshops there, and the energy that's cultivated in these rooms is so powerful, and I'm so excited about this talk. Go ahead.
No, I'm happy all around. You're expanding on what we're just going to chit-chat about today, getting really into the roots of it. January 5th, you're going to talk about how to intentionally set, right? Or how to
intentionally create your best year yet. Because, and we're going to get into this today, but I believe that we're all very powerful co-creators and that we can really create anything we want with a few simple tools. So I'm going to go really deep. So today we'll cover a lot of ground. And then on January 5th, I'm going to go really deep so everyone leaves with clarity and tools and can intentionally create.
I'm begging her to film that one so it can kind of go up online and we can all watch it.
Yeah. It's definitely possible. So
you also have a spring break retreat at the end of April down in Palm Springs.
At Palm Beach, Florida, yes. And I'm really excited about this retreat. It's going to be a 3-day immersion, essentially. So Thursday to Sunday, and we already have an amazing group of people going, and we're going to do beach yoga. We're going to be talking about wealth consciousness. We're going to be talking about how to reach your highest, truest potential. And when you travel with intention, another thing we can talk about today is magic, what happens, because when you set the intention to go on one of these adventures or one of these experiences, you know, for the purpose of elevating or attracting your desires, magic really does happen. So I'm so excited about that too.
I absolutely agree with that. When you set your intent for things, I like that you're expanding, and you've taught in Sedona. You go nationwide. I can't wait. Are you doing any out of the country?
I was going to do Bali. We talked about it on the last one. I was going to do Bali, but the logistics didn't quite work out. So maybe. Because
I think there's so much to be said about learning outside of your environment, like changing everything up.
Well, and you don't have the distractions at home, and you're there, and you're able to create these lifelong friendships, really, and it becomes a community and a support system of people, because when you spend 3 to 4 days with someone,
you kind of get to know them, don't you?
Yeah, with hearts open, and everyone, it's just the energy is super elevated, so it's amazing what happens. Even if you just went and sat there and didn't say a word or do anything or participate, your energy would elevate.
Hey, I know another way that you can kind of lose yourself, and you do that by losing yourself in a book. Totally. Musings of an Earth Angel is your first book. You mentioned it was part of a trilogy that you kind of had dancing in your head.
Yes.
And rumor has it you're starting on number 2?
I'm halfway through number 2.
You are?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, I didn't know you were that far. That's really exciting.
Yes. It is exciting. It's scary and exciting all at the same time.
So when do you think that one will be out?
I don't know, because there's a few different avenues on how it's going to come into the world. So it'll depend on what happens with that. So I don't know, to be fair.
Opportunity.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to share with the Lumineers about where you're going to show up? Your website is SuzanneAdamsAuthor.com.
Yes.
And it also has Musings of an Earth Angel on there.
Or musingsofanearthangel.com as well. Either way, it goes to the same place.
Nice.
Yes.
That's clever.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about the power of setting an intent. And setting an intent is what to you?
Setting an intention is being clear with the universe about what it is that you want to call into your life, about what you desire. And I think a lot of people walk around just allowing life to happen. And for me, what I've experienced over the past several years is that you can really create anything that you want if you align with that and if you're clear with your intention.
So my wheels are turning and I'm thinking about the word clear.
Yes.
Does that mean, because I have a lot of you Lumineers, you lose yourself in the detail? You're like, clarity, that means 1,000 details. And
no, I disagree.
Take.
Your intention can be to feel good.
So the clarity in that would be?
That you want to feel good.
That's the clarity.
That's the clarity. That's a beautiful intention that anyone and everyone can set and should set right now, actually. Let's do it together for everyone watching. Let's set the intention that everyone chooses to feel good. Because that's power. There's power in that.
Clean and simple.
Clean and simple.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I liked describing clarity because I think a lot of people go, well, crap, then I really need to know what my intent has to be down to the smallest percent to get it right.
I disagree with that. And I think that can actually push you backward.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you're so focused on being clear and having to know every single detail, A, you can get in your own way because you're not opening your mind to what may show up for you. And B, if you're focused on what's not there and figuring out and so focused on it, then sometimes that's what you're attracting is the absence of having what you want. So it's important to really be clear.
That right there. Let's slow it down and reverse. I want to talk more about that.
Okay.
So you just mentioned that if you get so heavy into the detail that you're actually beginning to attract that what you don't have because you're so hyper aware of what's not showing up in the moment.
If it's not there.
If it's not there.
If you're in a place where it feels good to focus on those details and it feels good to imagine it, that's different. Because
why is that different?
Because it's all in your feeling about what you're attracting. So like if it's joyful for you to daydream and to go there and to think about it, that's bringing it in. But if it's like something that you want so bad and it's like it's really far out there, then that's where you're focusing on. Okay, this is how I explain this. So, and I'm going to teach this on January 5th too, but I'll just give a little teaser right here. So like you have ladder intentions is what I believe is a really powerful tool because you want your intentions that you can pull in right in the next 3 to 4 months that are pretty realistic. Something that you can kind of train your brain and train, reality around. So something that's pretty easy that you can do. You
can make those adjustments.
You can do it, okay. And then you want your goals that are like up here that are like a stretch, you're dreaming, but you're pretty sure you can accomplish them in 6 to 12 months, that like if you do it, you can get there. Then you've got your out of the wall, Musings of an Earth Angel's a movie. I'm walking the Hollywood red carpet, millions and millions of dollars in the bank. Like for me, those are like, they will happen, but they're like up here right now. So like what you want to do is you want to focus on these initial goals that you can get that are easy. And as you start to doing that, you're seeing your progress and you're seeing the magic of co-creation. It's all starting to happen. So then what happens is you naturally expand. So then you start climbing up the ladder and the rungs that were up here are now down here and the ones that you can capture faster. So before you know it, you're way out of blow it out of the water dreams are in front of your face. But it's
your range of perspective changes completely.
Yes. So it's an art.
It is an art.
It's an art to figuring out how to feel good and do it.
Right. I also like how you said that if it became a task or too focused, that you weren't dreaming of the details or kind of pulling in those intentions when you weren't joyful or happy.
Right.
That task then becomes counterproductive.
Yes, because then your focus is on the absence and the lack of, and that's what you're expanding.
Ooh, I have heard so many of you Lumineers getting stuck in this vicious cycle and then coming back and going, but I set my intent, but I did it. I did my visualization board. I put everything in priority. I focused. I allowed. I accepted. But yet at the same time, all the work that you were providing was in this task force grunt mode instead of this joyful mode.
Right, and so it's contracted instead of expanded. And you can't really attract your desires when you're contracted. You want to feel this is what I've actually talked about at all my talks, is you want to be in that joyful of when you're dancing or when you're playing with your child or when you're on the swing, like that's the energy where the stuff can just flow to you. So it's the art of getting it there. And something that you said is when people say, clients say this to me all the time, well, I set my intention, but then this is happening. Well, sometimes if you set your intention for peace or romance or joy or millions of dollars or whatever it is, you have to get your own being to be an energetic match to that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes for that to happen, crap has to come up and be surfaced to move through you, so then you can be a match for what it is that you're wanting to attract. So sometimes your intention and your manifestation are just on the other side of the crap or whatever the situation is. I'm being careful with my language.
Hey, you can say what you want to say. But just to play devil's advocate here.
Yes.
Like when we acknowledge that we're having a rough time, when we're trying so hard to focus with joy or without joy on intent, and the crap rises, that many people go, well, isn't that just your way of dismissing, that shit does happen, like giving it an excuse for it to be there, rather than saying that it's part of a journey? Or do you know how it can be labeled in so many different ways? And I've had a lot of people come up and just go, well, you're just so happy, you're just saying that's part of the journey, when it's not.
Because it doesn't have to always be. And so this has actually been a turning point for me recently, because what started to happen for me when uncomfortable feelings surface, I honor it and I let them come through, and then I say that I'm no longer available for that vibration. I will not allow that in my space. And it's been amazing, like how it doesn't come and it moves on. And another really big, powerful shift that has helped me is when the feelings start to come up, or, for me it's cyclical, and I understand, like, like I feel the wave coming, and so I'm very aware, and I've started to say, oh my gosh, this means something really big and amazing is happening, because it's like you feel that energy, it's almost like your egoic self starts to go into fear or whatever it is, but if you can acknowledge it and recognize it and sing gratitude to that feeling, because you're like, oh my gosh, this means whatever I've been manifesting or whatever intention I said is really happening now, because it's kind of like a cue or a sign, and that helps too. Did that answer your question?
It did. Okay. Yes, I just wanted to address both sides of, the crap.
Totally.
Positive crap or other crap.
Yeah.
Because I think, we get lost in our own stories as we're kind of in it. And, we can listen to, all right, so joy right here in this whole talk that you have sounds like it is the gas in the car.
Yeah.
That's what's making that thing work and move.
Of course.
So then the big question is, well, we see you're talking about dancing and having joy and drawing it all in, but how are you doing that? Like, how are you focusing on the happiness when the crap is happening, or the happiness when you don't feel like you have it that day you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or have to have that confrontation that you're not so excited about? What are some tricks or things or focuses?
No, of course. So I think that it's all perspective and it's all a choice. And we can choose to, for me, understanding what you focus on grows, what you focus on expands. Like your presence is your power. And when you give energy to, it's going to grow. So you can choose to give energy to the shitty things in your life, or you can choose to give energy.
You heard it here first.
To the great things. And I know there are people in low, bad places. And what you want to do in that scenario is you search for the next best thought. You always flip it into a way to see the bright side. Like whatever scenario you're in, like there always is a bright side. There's always somebody that could be, so you could say like, at least this did. Think of something worse that could have happened and then say at least this didn't happen. Like, I mean, you can go there with any scenario. There's always something worse.
I just ran through several of them and I was like, I already feel better.
Yeah.
At least that didn't happen.
Yeah, at least this didn't happen. So then you start focusing on the powerful things, and at first, depending on where you are in your journey, like it may just be you're grateful that you have a shower, or that you have access to a computer to watch this, or maybe that you have fresh air to breathe, or that you can walk out and put your feet in the ground and just feel that presence. Like there's so many different things that you could be grateful for. Maybe you're at a place where you're grateful that you're at a 5-star hotel and you're like really like enjoying the luxury of that. And maybe you're grateful that you're with your family, or maybe you're grateful that you have friends that take you in because you don't have family. Like there's so many different things to be grateful for. And when you can consciously make the choice to choose those and intend on feeling good regardless, then that's when everything starts to shift.
No, I just have to soak that up for a second. So it's like getting the joy, showing gratitude, giving thanks. I love how you said just go that one thought up.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you are in the ho-hum or the real awful or the real crappy, you go one thought up from that.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you're making progress.
Huge, because that's you're going higher. You're going in the right direction. It's kind of like
that.
the ladder thing, except for it's the thoughts, and that'll the same thing as the ladder will move down as you come up. Your thoughts will improve,
and it changes your vibrational structure when you start to accept this.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we had this as part of our discipline, even as a listener or a friend or a family member who's listening to somebody just go, I need to vent, I just rah. We could go, well, think of what Suzanne Adams said. Go, well, at least blank didn't happen. And then go one thought up.
Yeah.
You know, then boom, we're already digging out of, the kind of place that we were in, reaching another vibrational level. And then we can start setting the intent of where we go from there.
Yes. And you give yourself, you pick your 30 minutes or an hour or 24 hours to wallow, if that's what you want to do. Give yourself permission to wallow.
Set the alarm, people.
For me, I don't do it long. And in fact, I had a conversation with a friend the other day. She said, you're just not available for these lower vibrational conversations. And I was like, that's intentional. I was like, I'll hear you, I'll support you, but I'm going to pull you out. I'm not going to let you sit here and wallow. I'm sorry, don't call me for that. Call someone else.
You didn't bring your phone out and set it on the table and go, you got 30 seconds. I got the alarm set. That's what I do with my kids. You've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Because there is power in letting the emotion move through you, but there's a difference in processing and wallowing. So I'm going to change that. Don't allow yourself time to wallow. Allow yourself time to process.
But again, I kind of resonated with the word wallow, vent, roll in it, just kind of...
Yeah. You can go to one of those classes. I've never been, but I've heard they're very therapeutic. Where you can beat stuff like kickboxing, and they get paddles and they have you scream. I've never been, but I was at this conference.
Is that serious?
Yes,
I've done kickboxing and stuff, but I've never heard of this.
I know. I actually want to try it. We'll have to go together one time because I was at a conference in Mexico, and these two women were going on how it had just really healed them. They're like, you go to these classes and oh yeah, whatever. And she said, then you get the bat and you just start swinging and you start screaming. She said, stuff you didn't know you had in you comes out. I haven't done it yet, but I do think it sounds kind of amazing.
I do remember taking kickboxing class, and the teacher came over and went, my God, you have such a power behind your kick. You must be really needing to let stuff go. What do you do for a living? And I was like, oh, I'm a meditation teacher and a massage therapist. And he was like, ooh, and he just looked and walked away. So
everyone has energy they need to release. It doesn't matter how you release it.
You're right, though. It did feel good, but I think it might feel even better
to scream.
We're going to do an on-site lighter side show on beating this thing down, whatever it is.
All right,
and then maybe we can pause every 30 seconds when the alarm goes off and say, well, at least blah, 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 and one step higher, and then we're going to set intents.
Perfect. I'm in. Let's do it.
We're going to just sit here and design all the shows that we can do.
All right, cool.
Okay, when we get back to setting intents, now, can an intent be on anything? Does it have to be, goal-oriented? I mean, what is...
I mean, an intention is, in my opinion, is to be used as a tool. So intentions are like magnets. And when you set intentions, it's your way of bringing energy together. So it's almost like placing an order, I think, with the universe. So setting the intention. I set intentions all freaking day long. Literally, I'll set the intention for my highest, truest self to come through. I'll set the intention for joy. I'll set the intention to have a great night's sleep. It's literally just a way of starting to co-create and starting to really build a powerful way of being. It's easy.
I just had this great vision of you, probably in a pink convertible, some great cat eye sunglasses, driving through and placing an order. Yes, today I would like to have higher self come through. Today I'd like to be hugged by 20 people. Today I'd like,
I need to be setting a taller intentions, I think.
Hey, you got that order? Great.
Yeah.
Good. So with setting that, once you've got it out there, do you have to keep hitting the button for it to work? Do you have to keep focusing on it for it to birth itself? Do you have to hold it in a space so that it can flourish?
There's an art to this. So when you were saying, like, do you have to focus? No, if it feels like that, because that's the contracted energy, and that's the force and the effort. That's not how you get things that you want, because there's an art of allowing and surrendering, too. So there's also art in focus and repetition. So if you want to figure out the balance of, maybe like for me, I have a little prayer and a little note list that I say first thing, like every morning. So it's a lot of people in today's society, including myself, used to be in the really bad habit of grabbing your phone first thing in the morning and scrolling through your email. Well, like that first few seconds when you're coming back from, this level of sleep where you're totally in alignment, and then you come out, and if you give it right to your email, that's like a really powerful moment that you're giving away. So if you can start, this a great way is to start your day with intention. So you can even write it out the night before, whatever you want, and before you go to bed. Those are both like really powerful times. So first thing you do, train yourself, first thing you do when you wake up is to either say, like I actually say, I learned this from Abraham Hicks, I want to be on a high flying disc today all day. Because that's like, boom, that's your intention. That's the first thing I say every day. And then I grab my phone and I read through my little prayer and my intention setting. And it's amazing. Like I don't start my day without doing that. And it's amazing, like the difference that I feel from doing that. So I do set intentions like repetitiously in that way, but when this has to happen, I've done that too, and that doesn't work. Like that's not when the stuff happens or the stuff manifests. So
let it crumble beneath you.
Yeah.
Hey, Lumineers, if you're up and near your computer, put your fingers to the keyboard. We would love to know how you wake up. What do you do the moment after you wake up? And would love to know how you guys are feeling once you've changed that habit, that after you wake up,
yes,
you look at something like the intent or clarity, hope, love, joy, whatever it is, and let us know how that changes your day.
Another simple one is just like I choose to expand my heart chakra. I choose to operate from the heart space. Like I'm setting the intention to really operate from that space. And that's a beautiful one too that anyone can do that will help you regardless of where you are.
What kind of alarm do you have that wakes you up?
Not like a jolting one. Either like music, soft music, or like a little chime. Not a jolting one.
I was just curious.
Yeah. It just depends. And then some days I'll just wake up naturally, but yeah.
I wake up naturally, or I have a cat that wakes me up with a little bit of pat in the face, a little nibble and purring, and then we have a petting fest in the morning for like 15 minutes or so.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to wake up.
Clean my energy.
Yeah.
Clean my family's energy. And then I say, today's going to be a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Like whatever just
that's setting an
today
intention.
It's going to be a wonderful day.
Yeah.
And then I put my feet on the ground.
Perfect. Yeah.
And then I grab my phone and I look at everything.
I do too. After the prayer, I then still do like, all right, I'm allowed to do that now.
What happened? Lately, I've been looking for Amazon as I'm now watching in Transparent. I'm stuck on that. I'm binge watching.
I don't know it. I'll have to check it out. It's good.
Been really amazing. A lot of spiritual content in there
Cool.
for Judaism.
Okay.
And I really liked how they hold a lot of intent in their words with their prayers and their ritual behaviors. And it's been gorgeous to see.
Okay.
It hasn't been in my world. I was Baptist.
Yeah.
Which leads me to the next point that I want to ask. Is intent religious based? Does it go to God? Like, is it sent somewhere specific?
I mean, I think an intention is whatever you want to make it. If you want it to go to a God, I think it certainly can. Mine does. But I don't think it matters. Like, it's more of a co-creation, almost, really, with your higher self, with your guides, with your angels, with God, with love, source energy, whatever it is that you want to call it. Certainly don't think it's religion-specific at all.
We just talked about how an intent can go to God, goddess, whatever you believe in, or however you need to situate it for yourself. Like, can you also access universal, like, life force energy as you're setting an intent? Is it?
Yes, and it's actually really powerful. And in fact, I recommend doing that. Like, if you are in that space where you want more clarity, if you are in that space where you want to feel good, you know that, you want to align with your highest truest self, you know that, but you do want more clarity. It's a beautiful way to help get that clarity in an easy way that feels good. So what you can do is just simply like sit down, put your feet on the ground, close your eyes, put your hands on your heart, and just breathe into your heart. And when you're doing that, you'll start to feel this presence. And you can just say, I call upon the guidance of the highest truth and compassion. You can call upon your team, whatever it is that you do. And if you've never done this before, it doesn't matter. And then you'll start to just feel this presence and this force behind you. And it's the same. It can be whatever you want it to be. And then when you do that, you can ask for clarity. You can sit in stillness. Maybe you sit in stillness for 5 to 10 minutes with clarity on some intentions that would be for your highest good. Then after you come out of it, grab a journal and just start to free write.
Pen to paper. I love that part. Pen to paper is so important, Lumineers.
Yes. And then just free write and don't filter, like let whatever comes out. And I mean, a lot of the times that's that universal energy speaking through you and to you. And I mean, sometimes you'll hear messages, sometimes you'll see images. And anyone can do this. This is for everyone to do. So that's a beautiful way to do it.
Dude, this is a lot of talk about like staying in the now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you stay now in the intent. When you look at it, you show up with your emotional joy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really kind of, if I'm hearing how you're explaining it, it is taken from emotions.
Yep.
Like it's all driving from the heart, and it's keeping the head, as you said, very clear and very present. So what is this doing to us energetically in our big bodies?
So I'm interested to hear your take, but I think what I think it's doing is, I believe that everything is energy, that words, thoughts, emotions all have vibrations. Our physical bodies are vibrating. And in order to capture what it is that you want, you have to become an energetic match to receive your heart's desires. So what this does is this starts to elevate your being and expand your energy and make it where it's easy, where you are the magnet and the stuff that you want just starts showing up without you even doing anything.
Hello, law of attraction.
Yes, exactly. That's all it is. It's very, very simple.
I love that term, energy matching.
Yes.
Like, you guys can really geek out on this stuff. And I mean, I love geeking out on like getting into the vibrational qualities of certain emotions and actions and outcomes and making sure that I'm familiar with them.
Yeah.
So that I can then change what I'm feeling, thinking, or expecting. Not really expecting. That's kind of like a bad word. There's another Lumi dictionary. Yeah. We got to change that word, expectation. I feel like we need more English words to support.
Well, we're creating them, and it's happening. So the expectation, I believe, is like a twofold meaning. So it's important to expect your desires to show up. It's important to know they're coming, to trust they're on the way, to feel them coming before they're here.
To trust they're on the way.
Yes, but then you don't want to be in the energy of just expecting everything to... people to do things for you.
Yeah, because then you stay in that state of expectation.
Yeah, so and once again, there's an art to that too. There's an art to a lot of stuff.
So there's a fine line to everything. Basically what we're saying, this is a tightrope, and you want to be on it.
Yeah, and you walk it. And it's simple once you get the hang of it. But it just takes practice and listening, and really something that's important that we haven't discussed is who you allow in your vibration, in your energy.
Like on my tightrope?
In your everyday being. Like you choose a lot of times your environment. You choose a lot of times the people that you entertain and engage. Like I was saying, how your presence is your power and what you give energy to grows. Like you choose, if there's someone at your office that drives you crazy, that gets under your skin, you choose how much that you, not here obviously, but maybe some of the Lumineers listening.
This place is great, yes, but.
Yeah, but so like you choose if you're going to engage in that, if you're going to give that your power, you choose if you have the news on a lot, I'm sorry, but that can be very toxic energy. So you're choosing to allow that into your home. What music that you have on, all of this stuff, it does affect your vibration. Like when I'm sleeping, I'll put certain stuff on that I really want to get ingrained in my being, like positive stuff. I'll just put it on so it's playing on repeat while I'm sleeping. So there are all sorts of tools. I don't
osmosis learning.
Yeah, like I won't engage.
Energy matching.
Yes, and
so
we all have a choice.
You wake up with that energy matched.
Yeah, exactly. And then you expand more. You just keep going.
I love this.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have some kind of source. Suzanne, get on it. After you finish your trilogy, we would like to place the order for vibrational qualities of certain outcomes or situations, or
they have. There's a vibration scale.
There's a vibration scale.
So I talk about this at every single talk. There's a vibration scale. It goes like this. So it's like a triangle, okay? So then you got shame and guilt down here, and then it's frustration, anger. And anger is good because you actually move through anger. And then there's acceptance, and then love, and then joy, and then enlightenment. And what it shows is, like, you think about it, and when you're pissed at someone, or you're shameful of something, you're like this, like, oh, or like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. And your energy is super contracted. And then you get pissed and you're like, F that, I am going to go get them, like, da-da-da-da, and you're moving through it. And then you get to a place of, like, okay, like, this is just how it is, I can accept. And then you get into the place of, like, loving certain things, and then the joy, and then after that, so you just get into this really expansive mode. It's studied. There's scientific fact. I mean, all of this stuff does have vibrations, and it does affect the way that you live.
Oh, it definitely all has vibrations. And I love that the scale that you just showed, it was all emotional values.
Yeah.
It wasn't like when you get $1 million.
No, because that doesn't matter.
And then when you get your car, and this is what that is.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm setting the intention to easily attract $1 million. Like, that's great. But
go for it.
But it doesn't. There are people that have millions and millions of dollars that are the most angry people on the planet. Like, it doesn't. Money. It helps certain things. It certainly makes life easier, but it's not going to. You have to be right in here first before you can exude any of that.
I really think that's the huge take home that you have.
Yeah.
And it might be surprising for some people, because if you're setting an intent, I think a lot of people are looking at it as an external place that they need to reach for and arrive and then obtain and have. And you are clearly telling us it is coming from an emotional value. You get on the joy train. Oh my gosh.
You get it inside, and then you become a match, an energetic match, and it shows up for you. What you want shows up for you. So that's why at the beginning I said we should all set the intention to feel good, because when you feel good is when you're expansive, and that's when the things show up.
So can I ask?
Sure.
Did you set an intent today?
I did. I set an intention for my higher self and a guidance team to speak through me. Always. Every time I'm doing any talk or interview, always.
Is there a difference between setting an intent for the day or for the week or for a situation or for the year? Like, we're coming into 2017. We're stepping on it right now.
Yes.
Like, is there a difference between these longer ones versus shorter?
Yeah, of course. So I think it's important. There's so much power in setting up your year. And I mean, we are coming up into a very powerful time to do it, which is, again, is why I'm doing the talk on January 5th. But you could really do this at any moment. Like, you could set up, the rest of the year or your year. So I've been in deep reflection over 2016. I've had so much amazing things happen. And so I started to write a list of all of the things that I accomplished that I was grateful for. That lifts your energy right there. So start just like reflecting on your year and start to think of everything that you did right, all the good things. And if you have to dig deep, dig deep. But there's certain things, like if you had a roof over your head all year or whatever it is, and maybe, you were nice to people that are hard to be nice to, like whatever it is, dig deep and go there, like 10 to 15 things. And then think of maybe a couple of things that you wish would have been different. Okay, so like, maybe you had some of those big goals that were a little bit higher to happen that weren't going to happen, and they didn't happen, and that's okay. So then what you do in your crafting for your projection for the next year is you see what tweaks that you want to make based on kind of what happened and where you want to go. Also knowing that you have no limits and the sky is the limit, but then pulling in a few of those tier 1 and 2 goals that you know that you can accomplish. So you have to kind of to reflect on everything.
Refreshing your ears, lumineers, tier 1, tier 2. We're going back to the ladder that you talked to me about before.
Yes.
Like kind of what's immediately around us.
Things that you know you could easily accomplish. Yes.
And then kind of the higher end goal.
Yes.
Like the end result.
Yes.
So then we look at kind of how to change the entire system, like changing what car you drive, because you would keep that same car the whole entire year, right? Because the gas, the emotions that's feeding the car is the joy.
Right.
So we got the joy feeding it, and then we upgrade the car.
Yes.
Just laying this out for you Luma dudes. You are welcome.
Exactly.
Somehow the ladders, sometimes I get lost.
Yeah, no, and you can, you might want like, you might want to go diesel or you might, or you might want to go. You might really be ready for your Tesla. You know, you might. Electricity. Yeah. So you never know, but I think this is a beautiful time to sit in contemplation and do the exercise that we talked about earlier of calling in your guidance team and just understanding that you can have anything that you want. Like it's yours. It's there. It's just a process of claiming it and owning it.
Do you do private consultations and coaching? Mm-hmm. Do people ever ask, when you say, and trust me, my ears are like, oh my God, I love hearing this. You're like, you can have whatever you want. And I'm like, yeah, we can. But there's some times where I go, yeah, but, and this strange word but comes up. And I'm like, but I have to do this, and I got to be loyal to that, and I got to give to this.
Why?
Do you help people?
Why do you need to do that? Do you want to do it now?
I can't think of what I have right now. But there's sometimes where I'm like, yes, I want all of that. Oh, but I need to provide. Like I'm the sole provider in my family.
Yeah.
So I can't just immediately change my career because that's where our financial income is coming from. Because there's times in your life you hit a certain age, you'd love to change gears really fast, but I can't. I have a responsibility to maintain.
But you could. You could figure out different revenue streams and how to amp them up and do certain things. There's tons of things that you could do, actually, to switch that up pretty quickly, in my opinion. Sometimes it takes someone outside to look and say, actually, Jamie, you could do this, this, and this. Like, I know ways that you could bring in income like that's passive that would be super easy for you. So there's a lot of things that you could do. You just have to tune into that. And I do help people that also what I do is help them tune into their own higher self and guidance, because I have this weird way of doing it that's just supernatural to me. And it's easy when
weird and supernatural.
But so of course, I think that the key takeaway for everyone watching is when you have those buts or when you feel that, but I can't, that's resistance. And you have to line up with that belief. So typically it's just a matter of mindset and changing and really reframing and really being open to creative possibilities and creative solutions of how it could show up for you.
And I like what you said about if you can't see it, you get somebody else who can help you see it.
Yeah, I've had a coach. I've definitely done a lot of deep internal work and had business coaches. I just signed up I just spent wrote the largest check I've ever written for this guy that's a New York Times bestselling author to do his mastermind. And I've never been so excited to pay someone money because I'm like, this is going to be so expansive and so huge and so exciting. And so I think it's really important to invest in yourself and to commit on that level.
That's wonderful. Do you also refer other people to?
I do. I help people find coaches that are right for them. I've started doing group coaching because there was a need for it, and doing energy healings and activations too. It's just something that just kind of happened naturally. So it's been really fun.
And where do we find out more about that?
Go to SuzanneAdamsAuthor.com, and there's a contact form. You can hit the little email icon and just email me. But I'm actually revamping my site, so there will be a more clear form. But so right now you can just do that, and I would love to help you. Yeah.
Yay. So what else in setting intents can help our listeners or our viewers kind of organize where they want to start? Like we just talked about the whole year one. Is there like a life intent? Because I know when we're coming into incarnating into these lives, we have agreements, and a lot of our listeners believe in contracts and karma and, a few of other things. Does intent enhance, interfere? Can it change?
So I also just wanted to say my 2 cents on contracts and agreements. I believe that you have the choice, if they're not serving you, to get rid of them at any moment. And that's easy to do, I think.
How do you get rid of them?
You say, you renegotiate the contract. You call me or you call you, or you just go in meditation and you say, I'm no longer willing to do this. And you clear the energy between you with the highest and best intention, and that doesn't have to be your responsibility. I believe a life intention, it's whatever you want it to be. Like for me, mine is to reach my highest, truest potential in a way that's really joyful and fun. And so, that's not specific because it's going to change, right?
Right.
So, the path is going to change. So, for my yearly intentions, I like to think of 1 or 2 words. I'll just share my words.
Do you know what 2017 is?
I do know what I'll tell you what 2016 was for me. 2016 was fun and romance. Okay, which I had a lot of both. So 2017, I'm being a little more clear with my words, is going to be grounded expansion. So I was going to just do expansion first, and I'm like, no, we can have expansion in the ethers. I need it to be grounded here in the physical. So actually having double words. So grounded expansion, and then I'm going to be a little more clear and say romantic love. Because I did romance, but now I want romantic love. So those are my words.
That's the clarity part.
Yes, but that's fine.
Clear in the words.
And because you know what, how it felt to me the year before was like what I needed the most of was fun. Because sometimes I could take things like really seriously and feel like this life purpose thing, I have to really do it and I have to work really hard. And I was like, screw that. Like I just want to have fun and do it. And everything like started lining up for me like in that energy. So, and then the romance, it was not feeling good to really feel like, oh, I've got this particular person that wasn't feeling good. So what felt good to me was just to say, okay, I want romance. And maybe that's me in a candlelit bath, or maybe that's on a date or on a trip or whatever. And it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge element of romance in life.
Yeah.
I like the way that you said, screw this, let's just have fun. You have like a spiritual group of screw that contract. I'm here to have fun.
Well, you
Hashtag
don't.
Screw that contract.
Yeah, I mean, people take it so seriously and get like, oh, what I'm supposed to do. No, like you have your own choice. You're supposed to have fun and expand and align and do what feels good. And
you could be in any part of your life.
Yeah,
any age
part,
of your life. Any social alignment in your life. To just own up and have some fun.
Yes. So I was at a retreat a couple years ago, and there was a man, he was probably like 65, and he said something to me that really spoke to me, and I love to share this, because what he said was, I'm hoping the next 10 years can be the best 10 years of my life. And I get chills even saying it, because no matter how old you are, if you say that, like my intention is for my next 10 years to be the best 10 years of my life, then that's amazing. Like even if you're 70 or 80, like bring it, you know?
Bring it on right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm curious to know, what are some of the things that provide fun for you? Or maybe we shouldn't ask that. Maybe we'll just cut that one out.
No, I'm happy to answer. I don't mind. Do you want me to answer or no?
Well, I just didn't want it to sound dirty to everybody who's listening.
Jamie, only you're the only one that went there.
I was like going there.
Dude, I'm going to answer because it'll be good.
I am such a dirty word.
Okay, can you cut it where you ask the question and then I answer and we cut that out? Or do you? Because I think this is actually good.
So I am so curious to know, with all this talk of joy and having fun, what are some things that you do in your life that bring you that fun?
Well, it's interesting because I had to reevaluate what was fun for me, because in my earlier years, fun meant a lot of alcohol. I'm not saying sometimes it doesn't mean that now, but like that, my fun was around low vibrational activities, like being in nightclubs or maybe like doing certain things that really weren't elevating me or serving me. So, you know, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I started to have this transition. I went into obsessive serious mode of reading and studying, and it was an obsession of learning and channeling and sitting in stillness and doing all this stuff. And then I was like, wait a minute, like, I get to have a life too. And so I started to reevaluate like what is fun for me. And what I realized was fun is I love doing stuff like this, even though it's so much fun. Even though this is like professional work, but this is fun for me. It is. Traveling. I love to travel. I love luxury travel. I'll just say it. Going to like fun dinners with high vibrational people that want to have like, you know, like-minded people, going on even like the retreats and stuff, like that's really fun for me, which is another reason why I love to host them. Cooking. I love cooking. I love dancing. You know, I really like had to really like start to say like what is fun for me now. Like,
do you cook and dance at the same time?
Sometimes I do.
We do that in our house.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's more things, but I think, you know, for everyone watching, all the Lumineers, I think a great intention would be to figure out what's fun for you now, because maybe it's changed, or maybe you've gotten lost in taking care of your children or tending to other people, that it might be a good way to just to say what's fun for me and experiment with that. Maybe once a month you're going to do something fun that you wouldn't do.
I love that kind of homework.
Yes.
That is the best homework to take home. In fact, it just sparked an idea. If, Suzanne, you love dancing so much, maybe I can set an intent that in 2017 we will unite. I've always wanted to host a silent disco party.
Yes.
At Piedmont Park.
Yes.
We'll just post a date and a time and people show up. You have to bring your own headphones, your own music, so you can dance to whatever music you love. And we will gather.
No, we need to have like the DJ come. Okay, I was just.
That's not a silent disco.
No, it is. They turn it off, and they give you the tool. They give you this little Walkman thing. I was just at this event in Mexico, and they had this huge party, and the hotel got really mad, and they were like, "Turn it down." It was a spiritual event, but they did parties at night too. It was pretty cool. So they're like, they made everyone turn all the music off. So next thing I know, it was a pool party too. There are all these people in had these headphones, and they were like just like getting down, and I was like, what are they doing? And then like everyone's like, oh, silent party, because they made them turn the music off. And I was like, I turned my nose up at first, and then I was like, I don't want to miss out on this. I went and I got the headphones. Oh yeah, and I danced like the hardest setting I've danced in a long time. And they had 3 channels, because it's important that everyone has the same music. Actually, they had 3 channels, and so you'd be like, you're on the wrong song, and everyone would be singing. Even it was so fun. I would totally do it, but we need the tools. It was really fun.
I'm setting that intent.
Yes.
That we are having that event.
Totally.
2017.
So now we just need the magic of someone with a DJ that can help us with those.
Yes.
Yes.
It has to be all wireless and everything.
Yeah, no, they had it at a pool. It was fun. They give it to you. Like one wasn't working, they just like trade it out. It was really fun. Yeah. Let's do it!
Woo! Done. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun.
I know.
What was it? There is no limit?
There are
There's
no limits. Oh, okay. So that's the question that you ask yourself. If there's no limits, if nothing is limiting me, what would I be doing? Because no one asks themselves their questions, because they limit themselves with their children, or like even me. Like that was really the question that changed my life. As an intuitive asked me, what would you be doing if you had no limits? And at first I was like, what do you mean? Of course I have limits. And then like I took a breath, and I was like, oh my God.
I'd be doing.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm the one that's been limiting myself and allowing society to tell me what I should and could, and all of this stuff. And getting out of that story is really what created all of this stuff.
Wrapping up this whole concept of setting intents, whether it's for the day, for the month, for the year, a lifetime intent. Mm-hmm. What are some extra tools or ways that you can remind Lumineers that this is even available? Because I think so much of us, we get caught up in, now I'm living my life, and now I got to check my phone and open the fridge and make a meal, that we're not paying attention to setting the intent for what those tasks could be like.
I think it's just a decision of how happy you want to be and how much joy you want to have in your life and how good you want to feel.
That's it. That's your T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
How happy do you want to be?
Yeah, totally. And if you feel like you're in a slump, like let that be your cue. If you feel off, like start to be really aware of how you feel. And if you are not feeling good, then tune in and check into that and set the intention that you want to feel good. So I would say that is the biggest cue, or the biggest tip, is to really start to be aware of how you feel. And if you're not feeling well, notice and shift it.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you have forgotten everything, please remember this one. It's so useful.
Yeah.
That's the moment that we create our change.
Yes.
I mean, after the 30 seconds or 2-minute timer of wallowing in it. You're like, no, Jamie, not even that.
Maybe.
Again, Lumineers, if you love Suzanne Adams as much as we do, please check out her website, SuzanneAdamsAuthor.com, and you can check out all her lectures, classes, and workshops and events that she's having, and also schedule a private consultation.
Yeah.
I think it's well worth it. And we are so grateful to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Honored.
Bring it in.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is so much fun.
So fun.
Lumineers, remember, it's not woo-woo.
It's true.
That is true. Yay!
I said that at the last talk I gave. I said, it's just like Jamie Butler said. It's not woo-woo, it's true. And everybody like died laughing.